You know, it's amazing how one person can walk into an industry that's, well, completely stuck in its ways and just rewrite all the rules. Back in 1996, one man did exactly that. Not in Silicon Valley, not on Wall Street, but right in the heart of English culture, professional football. So let's get into the incredible story of how a quiet, intellectual Frenchman named Arsene Wenger showed up and changed absolutely everything.
And this was the actual headline that greeted his arrival. Arsene who? That pretty much sums up the skepticism. See, in mid-90s England, football managers were supposed to be loud, they were supposed to be British, and let's be honest, not exactly academics. Wenger was none of those things. He was a relative unknown coming from managing in Japan, and he had a degree in economics. So to the press and the fans, this guy was a total mystery, and pretty much everyone predicted he was going to fail, and fail fast.
Now, to really understand just how big of a revolution this was, we have to understand the world he stepped into. And what's wild is just how insulated, how resistant to change English football really was back then. Look, the culture was all about brute force and tradition. The managers, almost all British, and they valued strength, aggression, way more than technical skill. Team spirit, that was often built down at the pub, not on the training pitch. A heavy drinking culture was just normal. The idea of using sports science or, looking outside the UK for new ideas, that wasn't just ignored. A lot of the time it was openly laughed at. I mean, this just says it all. The clash of cultures was visible in the tiniest details. Can you imagine? The standard pregame meal was a heavy plate of steak and chips. Training was often just running endless laps around the field. And after a grueling 90-minute game, the players would go for pints of beer. Wenger comes in and just throws it all out. It's steamed chicken, it's data-driven training, it's recovery shakes. It was a complete and utter shock to the system.
But this wasn't just about swapping one meal for another, not at all. This was a methodical, scientific overhaul of the entire club, and it was built on a really clear step-by-step process. He came at it like an engineer, right? First, he took total control of nutrition. No more sugar, no more alcohol. Done. Second, training became tailored to each player, focusing on short, sharp exercises with the ball, not just mindless running. Third, he brought in data and sports science to track everything from player fatigue to fitness levels. And fourth, he used his huge global network to find these amazing, technical players that English clubs had been ignoring for years. Now, at the very heart of his method was this concept called periodization. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. Instead of just training his players at the same brutal intensity all year long, he planned the season in cycles. The whole goal was to have them peak, physically and mentally, for the most important games. This reduced injuries and stopped them from burning out. It was common in other sports like cycling. But in English football, it was absolutely revolutionary. And this quote, whether it's perfectly word-for-word accurate or not, it just perfectly captures that initial shock the players felt. I mean, imagine being a top professional athlete and being told you can't have a can of Coke. On one of his very first days, Wenger banned chocolate bars and sugary drinks from the training ground. It sent a crystal clear message. The old comfortable ways were over. A new era of professionalism had just begun. So, okay, the players are eating broccoli, they're stretching, but did any of this actually work on the pitch? Well, the answer came a whole lot faster than anyone expected. All those doubters were about to be silenced in the most dramatic way you can imagine. 49. This number says it all. 49. That's how many league games in a row Arsene Wenger's team played without a single loss. An entire season unbeaten. It was a feat that had never been achieved in the modern era of English football, and it earned them a title that was just perfect, the Invincibles. I mean, just look at this timeline. He shows up in '96, 2 years later he wins the league and cup double. He does it again in 2002, and then the legendary Invincible season in 2004. The success was so undeniable, so overwhelming, that by 2005, other clubs had no choice. They had to start copying his methods just to have a chance of keeping up. And this is the mark of true genius. His impact wasn't just limited to his own club. No, he created this massive ripple effect across the entire league. We're talking legendary managers like Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United having to completely change their own methods, investing in sports science, changing player diets, all specifically to compete with Wenger's Arsenal. He didn't just join the league, he raised the bar for everyone. But when we really look back, his legacy isn't just about the trophies or that unbelievable unbeaten run. It's about a fundamental, deep, systemic change to the entire sport in England.
Just think about it. Today, every single professional club has a team of nutritionists and sports scientists. Foreign managers are now common, even celebrated. Creative, technical players are prized above all else. All of these things, which Wenger had to fight to introduce against so much resistance, they're now just the absolute standard. They're the bare minimum you need to compete.
So, at the end of the day, this is his greatest legacy. Arsene Wenger proved that a football team could be built with the precision of an engineer and the vision of an artist. He basically dragged a very skeptical culture, kicking and screaming, into the modern age, and in doing so, he changed the very DNA of what it even means to be a professional football club.
You know, his story is just this powerful reminder that sometimes it takes a total outsider, someone who sees the world differently, to force an entire industry to evolve. And it leaves you with a really interesting question. Who are the quiet revolutionaries, the Arsene Who's, that are disrupting the world around you right now?